Hey everybody, this is Matt and we're at Texas Toast Guitars. Thanks for watching. Today I'm going to be putting tuners onto this neck. This is actually the neck for our amazing guitar built from scrap wood. This is, some of you might recall from the videos where I talked about this neck. This was gonna be a piece of timber that we weren't gonna use for a neck because it wasn't exactly great and had some run out. But I thought, well, you know what? Since we're building a guitar that is made with scrap bits, let's use this. And you know what? As it turns out, it actually looks pretty good. It's a flat sawn maple with maple board. This is pretty much our standard daily driver neck. It's got a satin finish on the back with a gloss finish on the front. The only difference between this and our regular, standard daily driver is this has white binding to match the binding on the body. Because I think that a bound neck and an unbound body looks okay, but a bound body and an unbound neck looks not so great. It just seems a little tacky to me. That's just me, guys. But it's kind of funny because our standard daily driver necks, though, come loaded with things that you can't get from other factories. Like, for example, the profile, because we still make these one at a time by hand. You can pretty much make them any way you want them. But that's enough of a sales pitch for the daily driver. So let's talk a little bit about the tuners that we're going to use and talk a little bit about daily driver neck physics. Now, in 2018, we decided to standardize our tuners to the Hipshot brand. And we've been very, very happy with everything that we've gotten from Josh and his people in New York. The Hipshot stuff has always been really good, and it has not let us down. And I'm going to show you how easy it is to install the Hipshot tuners and some of the features of the Hipshot tuners once we get to that. But the other day I got a message from a viewer wanting to know, as a rule, our Fender necks, do they have an angle? For those of you who are not aware, Fender necks, for the most part, do not have an angle as much as they have this scoop here, which effectively creates a break angle off the nut to the tuner. Now, the tuners that we're going to be using have staggered post heights. That is to say, they're taller here at the low strings than they are here at the high strings. So that kind of increases the angle of the string for the E and the B, and the the G and the D are not quite as tall as the A and the E. And again, we're going to get to all this here in a second. So sometimes you can get away with no string tree, but sometimes you want to use a string tree, even if you have staggered tuners. So a string tree is just a way to put a little more pressure on this long throw here. So you got the E and the B coming off the nut here, and even if you got a staggered tuner, sometimes you need something else to kind of hold everything down. And that's going to be, up to you, or if you buy a neck that already has a string tree, it's going to be up to whoever built your neck. So let's get right down to it. Okay, so here is what I am going to be working with today. I have my daily driver neck. I have a set of the Hipshot tuners. This is actually their upgrade kit. We'll talk a little bit about that more here in a second. And I've got some replacement Hipshot tuner buttons that we're going to put on. And I've got my my StewMac screwdriver kit, which will be invaluable. Oh, I'll need a drill too. All right, and just like that, through the miracle of TV magic, I have my rigid 12-volt drill and my Brad Point drill bit set. That should be enough to get us going. Okay, like I said earlier, we have standardized on the Hipshot brand tuners for all of our guitars that we build. And today we're going to be working with the upgrade kit. What the upgrade kit is, it comes with instructions. We don't need those. 2 sets of instructions. It comes with the tuners, and they're marked because they're all staggered. And the little things that hold the tuners on, and screws and stuff. And it also comes with these plates. Now, the cool thing about these plates, we're not going to be using them today, but if you buy Hipshot tuners and you want to retrofit the Hipshot tuners to your guitar, but you don't want to drill a bunch of new holes, they come with these plates. See, and they have little tits that stick up, and what that does is you can put this over the tuner hole and then put the tuner in there like so. And once you get all this stuff in there, the plate actually helps keep the tuner from going like this when you turn it. So that's a pretty neat way to go, and you don't have to drill any new holes in your neck. But because we don't have any holes in this neck, we're just going to go ahead and drill them. So these guys, we're going to throw them out too. All right, so I got my tuner washers and the tuner screws, and they go through the washer and attach to the tuner. I mean, you guys know what tuners look like, so I'm not gonna, we're not gonna break any ground there. So as you can see, the staggered height tuners are all marked, which is pretty handy because that way you don't have to get the calipers out and measure, because they're only a millimeter off. So we're gonna start with the 21s for the E and the A, and then we're gonna go with the 20s for the D and the G, and the 19s for the B and the high E. So let's just go ahead and start putting these guys on here. So tuners always go with the gear facing the body of the guitar, and we're just going to press those in like so. Now the holes that we drill, let me see here, are 25/64, and we've decided that is the appropriate size hole to use if you're going to put finish on if you're going to put finish on and then install the tuners or drill the holes. So let's just go ahead and see, these guys fit really snug, but we don't have to get the reamer out and make them any tighter. So we can just go ahead and, I say that now, and maybe we do need to ream that one. So let's go ahead and we are going to get our reamer out, and I think probably what we need to do is just break off some of, there's probably just like a blob of finish on that tuner hole, because all the rest are going in really nice. So once you got them in, see, now they're in there. They're not going anywhere. So that's because we drilled the holes correctly. So now we're going to go ahead and put the washers on all of these. And then we can screw down, just a little bit, just kind of get them snugged in there. We'll screw these tuner, I guess they'd be tuner attaching bolts. Make sure I see if I can get my hand out of the way here. So, upgrading your tuners is a really cool thing that you can do without having to have a lot of stuff going on. It's a pretty easy thing. And of course, like I said before, the Hipshot tuners kind of make it extra easy because you don't need to drill any new holes. So now I'm going to find a wrench and we're going to tighten these up just a little bit. So remember when I told you I had all the tools out that I thought I was going to need? Clearly I didn't think it through, because we also need a 10mm wrench here, and I'm just going to go through and snug these down. All right, so the little tuner locking deals are snugged down. The tuners can still move, but they're nice and snug. And so that's good, because what I want to do next is I want to make sure that everything is lined up. I'm going to get something that is straight. And you know what? Those look pretty good. This guy here might need to be adjusted a little bit more. It's kind of, there we go. That looks pretty damn good. All right, so now we need to drill teeny tiny holes for these little screws, and they will go into these holes in the tuners. To do that, I'm going to use my drill and a 1/16 drill bit in the picture there. Now I don't want to drill all the way through and poke through the headstock, because that'd look lame. So what I've got here is I've got a piece of tape. This is binding tape, but you could use any kind of tape that you want. And I am going to put the screw up on the drill bit and mark with my tape how far I can go. So that piece of tape will indicate how deep I need to go and will give me plenty of room for the screw to go in. And as you can see here, even if I drill all the way through to the tape, I still won't poke through the other side. So let's go ahead and do that now with a few 6 little holes. Now remember, if you're installing these using the Hipshot plate deals, you won't have to do that, and it will save you from having to drill a bunch of holes. Now, in the StewMac toolkit, there's this guy here, and it looks kind of like a screw. And what it is it's a hardened tip that has threads on it. So you can put it into, you know, the piece that you're going to be drilling or screwing your holes into, and threading the wood, because sometimes screws are really kind of chintzy. So having a pre-threaded path is a cool thing. Now you don't have to do this, but I just want to let you guys know that it is a neat thing that you can do if you decide you want to. So now we are ready. There is an annoying fly buzzing around me. Now we are ready to find the right size screwdriver bit to go into these little tiny screws here. That one's a little too big. That one's the Goldilocks one right there. Okay. Now, for those of you who aren't in the Boy Scouts, if you take a little bit of wax and put it on your screws, that will help to lube them going in to the slots. And then it's a simple matter of just screwing it down, and voila. But you know what? Sometimes I want more power. I got stuff to do. You got stuff to do too. So what we do here is we take our little StewMac extension that comes with the kit, and we put it into our handheld drill here, which I told you guys is a tool that you absolutely need to have. And yeah, let's put this clutch at about, let's put it at 10. Alright, so we got some wax on the screw. 10 probably isn't enough. And we do the rest of them, and then we get ready to rock. Alright, now we can go ahead and tighten up these 10 millimeter deals on the front, and our tuner installation will almost be complete. Okay, so that's pretty much how you install tuners. Now, if you like these Hipshot tuning machine heads, that's cool. I think they're just fine, but we're going to upgrade these to these little bean shape jobs here, because as much as I like these guys, I like these guys better, and it's a pretty easy thing to do. We'll need to get our StewMac screwdriver, and you just take the button and the screw out, and you replace them with the new buttons. Come on, plastic. And screws. Now, this is a pretty low-tech operation here. And Hipshot has lots and lots and lots of cool buttons. If you don't like any of these, they'll sell you something you do like. Alright, so I'm going to just do all these right now. So there you go. A complete tuner installation video from no tuners to ready to rock. So this neck will be ready to attach to the body here pretty soon. The frets have been leveled, but they need to be dressed again, and we need to cut a nut, and then it's just screw this thing in and well, final assembly on the guitar, and then we can play it. So, guys, if you like this video, give us the thumbs up, and if you haven't subscribed yet, why don't you go ahead and hit that subscribe button now. If you appreciate content like this, you might want to go over to our Patreon page and consider becoming a member. If you can't do that, we totally get it. And even if you can, one of the really cool things you can do to help us out is to share this video as many places as you possibly can. So I think I paid for all the done all the commercials here at the end. So this is Matt at Texas Toast reminding you that if you're so smart, build it yourself. That's what I do. Thanks for watching, everybody.